what are the skills of the ultimate investor? You might be thinking, why do I need to know this? What are the skills that need? I have a financial planner. That guy will take care of it. Why do you come to work? Ask yourself that basic question. Why do you come to work? Isn't it to earn money, to save for your retirement? That should be your basic goal. If it's not, then you need to do some deep thinking. But what are the skills of the ultimate investor? You have to know what is happening in the world. You, like how Ramesh said, you have to know the truth behind whatever information you get. So make sure what's happening. Don't rely on a financial advisor or what somebody said, because I have seen how these markets work and how everybody thinks. At the time of the boom, even in Florida, at the real estate boom, you saw how people were buying 3, 4, or even 5 houses. And nobody thought much about whether if there was a possibility of the money going down, the whole market going down. As luck would have it, that's what eventually happened. And it's the same thing in stocks or any other investment. You have to know when to invest. As it happens, the best time to invest is when nobody wants any piece of it. Everybody's saying, oh, that's a horrible thing, because they've seen stuff happen. But that is probably counterintuitively the best time to get into the market. And this is not a recent phenomenon. If you see the boom and bust cycles in the stock market, it's been happening since the beginning of the 1900s. There was one in 1920, 27, and then there was a 35, all these boom and bust cycles. And as recently there was a boom in the late 70s, and then from 82 to 87 there was a nice big spike, and then it crashed, and then same thing happened in 2000 and again in 2008. But each time it's a different thing that brings the whole market down. So you need to be aware of when these things might happen. There's actually a philosophy that if you blindly just invest in stocks and forget about it, you'll be okay, except when there's a bear market, and the chance of that happening is probably once a decade or twice a decade. If you identify those critical points and get out of the market at that time, you will be accomplishing what you should be, which is becoming wealthy. And this has happened all the time. You have to be aware. And some of the classic signs are when everybody is talking about it. That's what they say about stocks, right? When even the barber wants to know what the next stock to buy is or something like that, that's a red flag. You need to get out. Same thing with real estate. You know, those were the signs where everybody was buying whatever they could without thinking what might happen. So right now, we are just, what is the period right now? Are we in a bust cycle at the end of the bust? That's one way to look at it. But think about it in a different way. Critically, like Ramesh said, the seeds of the next boom are being sown right now. It's for you to identify what it is. It might happen because the Fed is really loose with the monetary policy. They have a huge deficit. They're throwing money at banks and doing all kinds of stuff. But it'll happen. The cause for the real estate cycle also was the artificially low interest rates that were held down for a bunch of years just to get out of the 2000 recession. And that caused the 2008 recession. So as an individual, you have to know what is happening in the world, especially as an investor, and try to be aware of what is a good investment. And you could follow some good investors like Warren Buffett. He has his philosophy. There's George Soros, and there's Boone Pickens. All these guys, you should try to see what they think about. You might not do things at their scale, but at least try to be an active thinker and investor and figure out what they're doing. And even if you outsource your work to your financial planner, it's always good to be aware. Think of all the people that gave their money to Bernie Madoff. Millions, billions, like 5 billion. And that guy was just running a simple Ponzi scheme. As simple as that. Don't rely, and all the regulators and all these SEC, all these watchdogs, they're just like you and me. They're also doing active, passive thinking, I guess. They'll read the headlines and just say, oh, this guy's a big name. Oh yeah, Bernie Madoff, he's a big shot. Don't get into, everything must be good. And it's the same thing. So you have to know what's happening. And my advice would be one main thing: diversify your portfolio. Try to have as many things in different baskets so overall your goal is achieved. And be aware, learn more about finance. It's amazing how much time and effort people, they go to college to learn about engineering and programming and all these things, but simple financial education is lacking in this country. That's pretty much the commonly held belief. So be a good investor, know what's happening at one time. Each of you, make it a point. Try to understand what is happening. What is your balance sheet? What is your balance sheet? What is your goal? Will you be able to achieve it? Do you have to do something else? Keep these things, ask yourself these questions, and become a good investor. Not for me, but for you, for your retirement. Thank you.